Hey everybody, it's Randy with Carchaeology, and I want to apologize for not posting any video this past week, but there's a very good reason for it. We almost burned to the ground. Actually, it wasn't quite that close, but we were in an evacuation area for a major fire up in the hills here in Southern California. If you look up online, I believe they called it the Fairview Fire. It started out near Hemet, California, which is pretty much due north of us. And it started working its way through the wilderness on its way down here towards my location. And as soon as I saw it coming, I realized that I needed to act quickly. So right now, the lab is empty except for little scraps of bits and bobs laying around. We pulled all the cars out of here. We got them well out into a safe zone in the next town over, thanks to a good friend of mine, Jamie, for letting me store the stuff there. We dragged everything out and then just hoped for the best. We ended up getting our stuff out of the house as well, all of our personal goodies and things like that, and the whole family, we all just kind of got in the cars and went. And it was a pretty serious undertaking, not only moving all of the cars as we were in a warning position, and then once we actually got into full red zone evacuation, we bailed out and we went to go visit my brother, hang out there, and now everything's in the clear. Thank you for the work of the fire department as well as an incoming storm that helped slow the spread of the fire from the Fairview Fire. But in any case, I wanted to share with you a little bit of the experience at the very least. I'm going to show you some little clips of the fire photos and things like that we took. And then I'll wrap it up here at the end. But it's going to be a short little video. But that's what we've been up to this past week here at Carchaeology. So we do live out in a rural area where there are fairly consistent wildfires, but occasionally one gets out of hand and threatens where we're at. This one that started up in Hemet, California, which is due north of us, really started to crank. And you can see the progression here as the clouds of smoke start to rise. And this was something that was going on for a few days. It would die down in the morning and then get big in the afternoon. You can see the wind was blowing here a bit. And the clouds were getting scary. So they did call for an evacuation in our area that hit us in the middle of the night, and I immediately got on the road, starting to move cars out of the area to make sure that all the treasure is safe. Fortunately, I've got a friend down in Temecula, California that's got a big yard with a bunch of cars in it, so I could bring all my stuff down there, drop it off where it's safe, and then focus on family-related stuff. And when back at home, obviously things were starting to get serious. Loads of fire trucks were rolling up the valley. The plan was they were going to try to stop the fire at the tip of our valley. The air tankers were out, everything. It was a little spooky. But I do have great faith in the fire department. However, I don't want to take any chances when I've got something valuable like the Mercedes here and some of the other stuff. So a good friend Steve came to pick up the Mercedes, haul it out of there. I loaded up the dune buggies, so on and so forth, brought everything down there to drop it off, and then came home. So as we sat at home after getting the last car out of here, we were kind of wondering what was going to happen. Is this fire going to get strong enough to come tear down the valley and take out everything? As you walk through, you look at stuff. What do you save? What do you leave? I got the most valuable items out, so I felt like I was secure with that, so at least I wouldn't lose it all. But I would have lost so much. One of the things that was lost was the fire tower that I used to volunteer at up in the hills. But the next morning came, and we were able to return to the house. I'm following fire trucks up the valley to the place, but we still have a couch. There is still room for the cars to come home, and so I spent the next few days hauling all the vehicles back to the lab, running from Jamie's place down in Temecula, visiting my favorite rooster, to hauling all the vehicles on back into the shop. Now, a couple things ended up going elsewhere. So one of the big updates here is that the Brubaker box is now over at Sebastian's, and he is diving into the mechanical parts of it. He's going to slip the fuel tank in underneath there. We've got a new engine that's going to go into it. So this sort of spawned getting it out there to his place where he can get some major action going on it. I'm very excited about that. Everything else came home. It was a good opportunity to clean the corners of the shop, rearrange everything, and make it all look nice and tidy, which desperately needed to be done. I went down to my friend Steve's warehouse here in the Mercedes department. He had the 320 stored safely out of harm's way, was able to bring it home and plop it back in the lab. So now, with no smoke in the sky behind me, we're starting to bring back all of the vehicles from storage. I'm going to put everything back into the lab, do a little organization at the same time. And then hopefully by the end of the week, we can really feel like the dust has settled and get back to normal operations. In any case, if any of you have had a fire scare, go ahead and share your stories in the comments there. Thankfully, we have a garage. We still have the lab to put the cars in. Didn't lose anything in the process. A couple little chips and scratches for him moving quickly, but we've got a house, and that's a great thing. And thank you guys for watching. Keep on digging them up and driving them, and try not to burn. That's bad. All right, take care. Bye-bye.